Crypto.com was revolutionary when it introduced its partnership with Visa and actually allowed you to spend cryptocurrency in stores. Wow, real world utility. But they've made some dumb decisions since then. Decisions that's turned their own community against them, plunged their native token Kronos deep into the red, and even put their own customers in the firing line in order to try and save their own company. Hit that subscribe button below for me while my editor pops the cutest photo they can find on the screen, and let's jump in. So imagine this, you're a model citizen. You've worked hard for a few years and saved up $400,000 US. And now you're starting to look at potential investments for your precious nest egg. Because one thing we now know for sure, you don't want to keep that in cash. In fact, you would have lost almost $40,000 over the last 12 months of value just due to inflation. Maybe you want to put it in bonds, but they only average 5% back a year. But what about stocks? Well, yeah dude, an average of almost 10% per year, you probably should be putting your 400K there. But of course, we're seeking something a little bit more risque. Well, how about gold? Well, it's barely outperformed inflation. So digital gold, Bitcoin, I mean, that's risque, but maybe a little too risque. This thing has crashed over 80% in just a couple of months before. We don't really want that happening to our nest egg. So how about that Crypto.com pamphlet that just got put on your desk? After all, you've probably seen the Crypto.com arena. You've probably seen Matt Damon being super brave during the Super Bowl commercial. Maybe we should look at what they've got to offer. So you take your $400,000 and stake it in Crypto.com's native token, Kronos. Staking means temporarily locking it up. It's still your money, but they're holding on to it. They just need to know that you're not gonna sell it. And in return, you get free Spotify, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Wow, that's over $43 a month back into your pocket. I mean, honestly, it's kind of nice, but it's not worth a $400,000 investment. So what else are they offering? Well, they're offering 12% APY on your 400K. Now that is worth it. That's more than the stock market, and in fact would get you $48,000 back per year on your 400K, or $4,000 a month passively coming in just for staking your money with Kronos. But wait, there's even more. Another 8% cash back on every single one of your purchases made on this Crypto.com card. So for example, if you're spending 100K a year, you're getting $8,000 cold hard cash back, obviously in the Kronos token, but that's another $666 per month passively back into your pocket. Well, I mean, all you have to be doing is spending money you're already going to be spending, but putting it onto this card. So those perks together would get you over $56,000 passively coming in every single year. And of course, we can't forget the baller perks, like the airport lounge access, valued at $32 every time you visit the airport. The ability to flex your Crypto.com card on Instagram, priceless. And of course, you have additional perks from their private jet partners. Nobody really knows what this is, but you have to charter the private jet yourself, and they probably give you free peanuts or something. So basically they're selling you the high life, but to be honest, it sounds pretty damn good. And it sounded so good that a lot of people went ahead and staked $400,000 in order to get this black obsidian Crypto.com card. But of course, there were some problems that occurred. The first one is yes, we wanted something risque. Well, the problem is we avoided Bitcoin due to its volatility. And instead, we ended up putting your 400K into a smaller market cap crypto, Kronos, which if you haven't picked it up yet, Kronos is named after Zeus's dad. Pretty cool. In fact, Kronos is so cool, he's often depicted with a sickle in his hand. Why? Because he cut off his own father Uranus's balls. So damn cool. But in fact, the volatility of this Kronos token would have taken your $400,000 that you put in back in March down to just $102,000 today. How's that for risque? But what's even worse, and maybe quite ironic, is this modern day Kronos doesn't cut off your balls, but he does like to cut and slash your interest rates and your earnings. And I'm personally not sure which one's worse. Probably balls. But who's really to say? Because what can't feel good is Crypto.com making changes to the card that you bought right out under your feet. In fact, they've changed these perks to these cards 5 times in the last few months. Can you imagine if an NFT project did this? They'd be absolutely flamed. You pay $400 for a JPEG, say you stake it and you earn $50 a month in their own native token, but wait, they changed it. Now you're only earning $30 a month. Oh, and wait, after you've bought this thing, they've changed it again. Now you're earning 30, now 20. Now we have a cap in there that you can only earn $5 a month. That NFT project would be absolutely roasted. And I mean, more roasted than every other NFT project is currently getting right now. So what exactly did Crypto.com change? Well, basically everything. They decreased their APY, the yield you get paid on your 400K per year, from 12% all the way down to 8%. They brought your cash back down from 8% all the way down to 5%. In fact, they went lower, but they put it back up because people started complaining. They even started capping how much you could earn in cash back a month for the lower tiered cards at just $25 and $50 per month. But the worst thing they tried to do was introduce a 1% top-up fee, meaning when you go to put money onto your prepaid debit card, they're charging you 1% of that amount, which really just defeats the entire purpose of having this card and staking it for rewards because you're just paying them back in fees. And this was actually too far for the crypto.com community. They pushed back so hard that they ended up rescinding this, and now it's still free to top up your card. Now I know what a lot of you may be thinking. There's a lot of promotions inside the crypto world and outside the crypto world that are way worse than this. And in fact, this is just a normal marketing tactic called loss leader that a lot of people employ. A loss leader strategy involves selling a product or service at a price that is not profitable but sold to attract new customers, which they can then sell additional products and services to those customers. This is just like when Uber came to your town and offered you 10 free rides. Not a sustainable offer, but what ends up happening is you get used to Uber and now all of a sudden you're paying $180 just to get home from the airport on a busy night. And crypto.com isn't actually taking these out from under your feet like a lot of people are saying, but they are honoring their initial APYs and cashbacks for the staking period that you pledged to. So say you signed up for 180 days, you'll still get that rate for 180 days, but if you want to re-sign up and keep using the card, they're lowering it from you then, just like your landlord putting up rent at the end of your lease. But the problem is the users and trust of their fan base is looking pretty glum. Newsbond site gave them a raving review saying it looks like they're doing what they can to survive the bear market. And then you had this Reddit thread that basically said it's important to survive the storm. It's better than this than locking up withdrawals. And lastly, at least we still get a refund on Netflix. Not bad at all. And I mean, sure, it's better than totally going broke and locking up your customers' assets like Celsius or Luna token dropping 99.99% and losing over $60 billion. But you can always tell when the community starts comparing what's happening to worst case scenario, things aren't looking good. And unfortunately, we're seeing this slow trend of cryptocurrencies during this bear market becoming worse than the banks and the financial institutions that they planned on replacing. Because there's one big problem that they can't undo even if the bear market was to end tomorrow, which is this. If you believe crypto.com won't become insolvent overnight, and you bought in right now to the Obsidian Black $400,000 crypto.com debit card, it might not be the worst investment of your life. You still get an 8% APY, and you still get 5% back on all of your purchases. Now this is $43,000 back every single year. And also the crypto.com token, Kronos, has absolutely tanked. And right now it sits at about 12 cents. This means you're getting in 4 times cheaper than those who bought in March. It's also attached to a real world business that actually makes money by being a centralized exchange. And big if it survives the bear market, there's a lot more room for this Kronos token to grow. And if you're looking for a debit or Visa card, where else are you gonna go that's gonna offer these rewards? Even though they're heavily slashed from where they started, I can't find anyone who's giving 5% back on all purchases plus an 8% APY. Of course, probably the stock market is the better option here, but remember, we want to be risque. But here's the problem. I definitely would not touch this product, and I don't recommend any of you guys do either. Why? Because we can't trust them. How do we know in 6 months they won't slash the interest rates and slash the cashback and even slash the Netflix subscription in the future? They've done it 5 times in the past. Of course, a 6th time isn't going to be so bad for them. And what's even worse is every time they do this, their native token plunges even further, so our 400k gets less and less and less, and we make less and less and less money from it. So if you want to see some better alternatives out there in the crypto world, let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button so you see it when I actually make it, and I'll see you in the next video.